Welcome all of you to my YouTube channel, Nutra Management. Myself, Professor Devidas Ghosh. Today, I like to discuss about dietary fibers. Now, what is dietary fiber? Dietary fiber is mainly the plant component, which is the non-starch, and it is also polysaccharide. That means it is the polymer of different monomers. It is the edible part of the plant. But the most important thing is that it is non-digestible in our GI tract. That means human beings are unable to digest the dietary fibers. But the other mammals can able to digest these dietary fibers. So these dietary fibers, which are the most important ingredient of the diet, are mainly responsible to increase the bulk or the roughage of our intestinal component. Now, the major components of the dietary fibers are cellulose, hemicellulose, gum, and out of these, cellulose is the major dietary fibers, where the glucose molecules are linked with each other by beta-1,4 glycosidic bonds. And this is the main thing that why we are unable to digest the dietary fiber. Because in starch, which is the digestible polysaccharide, where the glucose molecules are linked with each other by alpha-1,4 glycosidic bond. But in case of the dietary fiber, these glycosidic bonds are beta-1,4 glycosidic bonds. And the different amylases, like salivary amylase, like pancreatic amylase, which are present in our digestive juices, that is the saliva and pancreatic juice, can only cleave the alpha-1,4 glycosidic bonds. And these amylases have no capacity to cleave the beta-1,4 glycosidic bond. And for this reason, the dietary fibers are not digested in our GI tract. But these are fermentable in our large intestine by different health-friendly bacteria. And due to such fermentation of the dietary fiber, it can able to produce so many short-chain fatty acids. And these short-chain fatty acids have major importance for the promotion of the health, for the recovery from different diseases. Now, these dietary fibers are mainly of two types. One is known as water-soluble dietary fibers, like gums, pectin, inulin, etc. Another one is water-insoluble dietary fibers, like cellulose, hemicellulose, lignin, and chitin. Now, if we study these glycosidic bonds, which are present in digestible starch and non-digestible carbohydrate. In digestible starch or digestible carbohydrate, the glucose molecules are linked with each other by alpha-1,4 glycosidic bonds. And what is alpha-1,4 glycosidic bond? Where this glycosidic linkage between the two carbons of the two ring structure of the glucose have same stereoisomeric form. But in case of the beta-1,4 glycosidic bonds, where the glycosidic bonds can able to link the two carbon atoms of the two ring of the glucose, which are differ in their stereoisomer. And another point is that in alpha 1,4 glycosidic bond, the oxygen which is present in that bond or in that linkage is located below the level of the ring structure of the glucose. But in case of the beta 1,4 glycosidic bond, this oxygen atom of this glycosidic bond is located above the level in comparison to the level of the two ring structure of the glucose molecule. So this is the basic difference between the alpha 1,4 glycosidic bond and beta 1,4 glycosidic bond. And only the digestive amylases which are present in our GI tract can only cleave this alpha 1,4 glycosidic bond, but unable to cleave the beta 1,4 glycosidic bond. And so these dietary fibers are not digested in our GI tract. Now, what are the sources of these dietary fibers? There are so many food items where the dietary fibers are present in huge amount. And these are wheat bran, the skin of vegetables, the leafy vegetables, stem parts of vegetables, some fruits like guava, banana, where huge amount of dietary fibers are present. Total fruit also contain high level of dietary fiber in respect to the fruit juice, and therefore it is prescribed for the consumption of total fruit instead of fruit juice, if we like to consume the dietary fiber from that food item. Legumes, whole cereals, whole grain, these are also the major sources of the dietary fibers. Now there are major 4 types of dietary fibers, like bulking fibers. That means these fibers can able to increase the volume of our fecal material, and it also increase the volume of the content in our stomach or in the intestine, etc. Viscous fibers, that means in presence of water, these fibers transform into viscous state, and these are mainly the water-soluble dietary fibers. Fermentable fibers. Some of the dietary fibers undergo fermentation by different bacteria in our large intestine, and they produce several short-chain fatty acids like butyric acids. And these short-chain fatty acids has immense therapeutic activity for the prevention of cancer, for the prevention of the diabetes mellitus, etc. And some fibers are also metabolized fibers. That means in the epithelial cells of the large intestine, these dietary fibers undergo metabolism, and these are known as the metabolized dietary fibers. Now, if we study the recommendation of the dietary fiber per day, it has been noted that as per ICMR recommendation, the daily recommendation of dietary fiber is about 25 to 30 grams per day. And out of these, 60% should be soluble dietary fibers and 40% should be insoluble dietary fibers. Though the daily requirement in normal condition of dietary fiber is 25 to 30 grams per day, but in some pathophysiological complications, like in constipation, like in diabetes mellitus, like in hyperlipidemia, where the requirement level is more than the normal, and it is 35 to 45 grams per day. But in no case, the dietary fiber consumption should not be more than 50 grams per day. So the question may be raised that if we consume excess dietary fiber, what will happen? It may result in diarrhea, because dietary fiber has an important property for water holding. Water holding capacity of the dry fiber is very high. And as a result, the fecal material would be transformed into semi-solid to the liquid state. And that may result diarrhea. These dietary fibers also interfere so many mineral absorption from our intestine, because some of the minerals are absorbed along the surface of the dietary fibers, and these minerals are also eliminated along with dietary fiber through stool, which may result mineral deficiency syndrome. And that mineral deficiency syndrome is generally noted in the rural sectors, especially in child community, who consume excess amount of dietary fibers. It also results abdominal discomfort because dietary fibers can able to produce bulk or roughage in the GI tract, and thereby the abdominal discomfort, abdominal distress, all are noted. Due to the fermentation of the dietary fiber, it results so many gaseous molecules, and that is known as the fat loss, which is also another discomfort stage of the individuals. Now, I have already mentioned that dietary fiber can be fermented in our intestinal epithelial cells. And by the intracellular metabolism of the dietary fiber, it has the capacity to generate energy, and that is 1.8 kilocalorie per gram. Previously, we have idea that dietary fiber has no capacity for energy production. But it has been noted that due to the fermentation of the dietary fiber, the short chain fatty acid which are formed that can be oxidized in that intestinal epithelial cells, especially the large intestine. And by their oxidation, it can able to produce 1.8 kilocalorie energy per gram of dietary fiber. Now, if we study the recommendation of dietary fiber on the basis of age group, then it has been noted that 1 to 3 years of age, the dietary fiber is about 19 grams per day, the requirement level. From 4 to 8 years of age group, it is about 25 grams per day. But above the age of 8 years, on the basis of gender, the dietary fiber requirement would be different between boys and girls. From 9 to 13 years of the boys, the requirement is 31 grams per day. But in girls from 9 to 13 years age group, its requirement is 26 grams per day. Similarly, from 14 to 19 years age group of boys, this requirement level is 38 grams per day. And in girls, 14 to 19 years age group, it is 26 grams per day. Similarly, in male, at the age group of 20 to 50 years, it is 30 to 38 grams per day. And in female, at the same age, that is 20 to 50 years age group, it is 25 grams per day. So from this study, the recommendation or requirement of the dietary fiber in female or in girls in the same age group is comparatively less than the male or the boy. In general, we may say that per 1000 kilocalorie energy consumption, the requirement of dietary fiber is about 14 grams. So if an individual requires 2500 kilocalorie energy per day, then the demand of dietary fiber would be 35 grams per day. That is 14 plus 14 plus 7, that is 35 grams per day. So this is the requirement of the dietary fiber on the basis of the age group. So this is all about the dietary fiber in general. Thank you and see again.